everyone, welcome back to this session of English. In this session, we are going to discuss comprehension ability part 3. As I told you that comprehension ability depends on the reading ability of a person. If our reading ability is good, we can easily comprehend the context of the passage and answer the questions that follow. So in this session, we are going to discuss passage number 3. In our earlier sessions, we have already discussed 2 passages and 1 example passage as well. So in this passage number 3, let us see that what is actually the passage, and after that we'll do some questions based on it. So let us start reading the passage first. Although cynics may like to see the government's policy for women in terms of parties' internal power struggles, it will nevertheless be churlish to deny. Now, here if we see a word cynics means a person who distrusts everyone. Okay, who distrusts everyone. And churlish is actually rudely or in a very bad manner. To deny means to refuse, that it represents a pioneering effort. Pioneering means the first effort aimed at bringing about sweeping social reforms. In its language, scope, and strategies, the policy document displays a degree of understanding of women's needs that is uncommon in government procurements. It is pronouncements. Pronouncements refer to actually the declaration or the announcement. This is due in large part to the participatory process that marked its formulation, seeking the active involvement right from the start of women's groups, academic institutions, and non-government organizations with grassroots experience. Grassroots means foundation, or you can say the initial part or the beginning. The result is not just a lofty declaration of principles, but a blueprint for a practical program of action. The policy delineates a series of concentrate measures to accord women. Accord means to make agree, and delineates refers to when we describe something or to mark an outline, to make the boundary. Decision-making role in the political domain and greater control over their economical status. Now, of especially far-reaching impact are the devolution of control of economic infrastructure to women, notably at the Gram Panchayat level, and the amendments proposed in Hindu Succession Act of 1956 to give women compulsory rights. Okay, now what does these compulsory rights refer to? Actually, what do these compulsory rights refer to? These were actually the rights given to women on the right to have property, or right to have the share in property. Actually, traditionally, when we have HUF pattern, that is Hindu undivided family, what happened? Only the boys were actually the heir of property, or you can say they were the one who have the rights to have the property of their ancestors. But according to Hindu Succession Amendment Act 2005, the women were given compulsory rights whereby the women can have the right to have the share in the property. That is actually the compulsory rights. An enlightened aspect of the policy is its recognition that the actual change in its status of women cannot be brought about by mere enactment of socially progressive legislation. Accordingly, it focuses on reorienting development programs and sensitizing administrations to address specific situations, as for instance growing number of households headed by women, which is consequence of rural-urban migration, the proposal to create an equal opportunity police force and give women greater control of police stations in an acknowledgement of the biases and callousness displayed by the generally all male law enforcement authorities in cases of dowry and domestic violence. while the mere enunciation of such policy has the salutary effect. Salutary means very good, and enunciation means the declaration or the announcement. So mere, it means only, by only just saying or declaring that yes, the women has the right. It is not actually the entire part or the entire thing. As a whole, it does not make the task implementation any easier. Okay, it means by merely declaring something, it does not mean that it has been implemented totally. Okay, now let us see what actually the meaning, what actually the questions are. Okay, so this is because the changes it envisages in the political and economic status of women strike at the root of power structures in society and the basis of men-women relationships, men-woman relationships basically. So this is because the changes it envisages means to imagine that something is possible in future. So let us see the questions. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Now we have read the entire passage. We have read the earlier passages as well, but in those passages there was something very good, that those passages were easy to understand because the meanings were clear. The passages were very interesting. This passage is also interesting, no doubt, but the meaning is somewhere puzzling, just because here we'll start reading the passage with the help of the questions first. Now first we have to read the questions in this criteria. Now we have read a little of the paragraph. Now let us start reading the questions now. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? Most of the government's policies are formulated through participatory process. There is need for a stricter legislation. The policy recommends reservation for women. The domestic violence is on the rise. So here it is C, that policy recommends reservation for women. Okay, because we are talking about the benefits that should be given to the women only. So this is actually the correct answer. Which of the following is true about the policy? There is another pronouncement by the government. It is a pioneering effort. It is not based on the understanding of women's needs. It has made many big declarations. Now, we have already read this in the passage that, as we can see here, deny that it represents a pioneering effort aimed at bringing about sweeping social reforms. So, it is a pioneering effort. So, this is the correct answer. Now, here true about the policy, that it is a pioneering effort. So answer B is absolutely correct. According to the passage, which of the following is a consequence of rural-urban migration? Now we have already read this word in the passage. Now let us see what are the options. Legislation is not enforced properly. Consequence means result. They are asking that according to the passage or according to the context of the passage, which of the following consequence, okay, consequence means result, that has caused of rural-urban migration. It means from rural, people are migrating towards the urban areas. It means from village to city. So there are four options. Legislation is not enforced properly. Many women migrate to urban areas, leaving their family in rural areas. Industries do not get sufficient manpower in rural areas, and none of the above. As we have already read this. Now let us see here. It is written, according to the Act of 1956, that is coparcenary rights. Here it is written rating the special situations which is a consequence of rural-urban migration. Now what it is written here, accordingly it focuses on reorienting development programs and sensitizing administrations to address specific situations, as for the instance growing number of households headed by women. Okay, it means many houses are there now which are actually owned by women or headed by women. It means the rule is of women, they are ruled by women. Okay, now if we talk about the question, the option that we have, so the correct answer will be D, that is none of the above, because here headed by women is not in any option of these options. So in the first, it is written legislation is not enforced properly. It is not actually the part. We have to look for the option where it is written Hardered by women. Many women migrate to urban areas, leaving their family to rural areas. Industries do not get sufficient manpower in rural areas. No, these are not the three consequences. In fact, the consequence is that most of the houses are headed by women, but that is not given in these options. Therefore, D is absolutely correct answer. That is none of the above, because not any of these options is correct. Okay, so our answer will be D, because the correct answer is actually that because many households or houses are there which are headed by women, therefore many rural urban migration is taking place. Therefore answer is D over here. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Which of the following is one of the far reaching impacts of the policy? Give women compulsory rights, reservation for women, creating an equal opportunity police force, accord women a decision-making role in political sphere. So we are talking about far-reaching impacts of the policy. Okay, which of the following is one of the far-reaching impacts? Now, let us move this. So, if we see this paragraph, we have to look for the far-reaching consequence. Okay, and implementation easier. If you see this proposed in give, enlightened, and enactment of the social accordingly. Okay, so if we read this passage or this passage, it is actually as you can see over here. Now let us move to the question again. One of the far-reaching impacts of the policy: give women compulsory rights, reservation for women. So it is A, that is give women compulsory rights, because what happened after this, that the women, they got compulsory rights. Okay, that means now they have their share in the property. Okay, according to the passage, which of the following is not true? So here we have some statements. The policy gives us a blueprint for program of action. The women should be given greater control of police stations. There is no law enforcement bias in case of dowry. For effective implementation, the government agencies will have to reorder their priorities. So we are talking about not true. It means we are talking about the false statement. So what we can do, we can check each and every statement according to the passage. So the first statement is the policy gives a blueprint for program of action. So let us see if it is written in the paragraph here. A declaration of principles, but a blueprint for practical program of action. The policy delineates means make a line, a series of concentrate measures, accord women a decision-making role in political domain. So we talk about the question now. It is written a blueprint for program of action. The women should be given greater control of police stations. We have read this earlier as well. Here it is written that greater control of police station, the equal opportunity police force, and give women greater control of police stations. This is also true. And if we talk about the another statement, that is there is no law enforcement in case of dowry. So for effective implementation, the government agencies will have to reorder their priorities. So our answer is C, because it is not given that there is no law enforcement, but there is an enforcement bias in case of dowry. Okay, so this will be the correct answer, C. Now, which of the following has danger of becoming a token? So socially progressive legislation, policy for women, compulsory rights to women, and reservation for women. Obviously, the answer is D, that is reservation of women. Which of the following is opposite in meaning to lofty as used in the passage? So we have to look for the meaning of lofty. Opposite in meaning. Okay, it means we have been asked about the antonym of this word. Antonyms means opposite word. Okay, so it is sublimated, humble, inferior, or undignified. Obviously, the answer will be D, that is undignified, because the meaning of lofty is arrogant or when something is very important. So its opposite is undignified. Which of the following words is most opposite in the meaning to sweeping as used in the passage? Limited, half-hearted, acceptable, incomplete. We have read sweeping social reforms. Okay, so sweeping means very important and many. Okay, so the opposite of it is limited. Okay, limited means that up to a particular limit. So A is the correct answer. Sweeping is something which cleans away everything or which is very important. Which of the following is nearly the same in the meaning? Now we have been asked the synonym of the word devolution as used in the passage. So it is relegation, succession, deployment, or decentralization. Of course, the answer is D, that is decentralization. Another question is, which of the following words is most clearly the same in the meaning of enunciation as used in the passage? So we have been asked about the meaning. Meaning means the synonym of this particular word, enunciation. As I told you that enunciation means to declare something, to announce something. So the correct answer is D, that is proclamation, because proclamation means to declare, to announce something. So proclamation, as you have heard the word proclamation as well, enunciation, to declare. Okay, and here the proclamation is the same in meaning as that of enunciation. So D is the correct answer. Now let us move to the next question. According to the passage, which of the following aspects has been identified as it alone would not bring change in the status of women? Compulsory rights to women, decision-making role in political area, greater control over economic status, enactment of socially progressive legislation. As we have already read about the compulsory rights and merely enunciation of these rights, or you can say just declaration of these rights. So the answer is D, because enactment of socially progressive legislation, this is not the concluding thing, or this is not enough. Okay, this much is not enough. Only by enacting these policies, implementation is very, very important, which cannot be you can say ensured with the help of enactment only. So answer is D. This is actually the correct answer according to the page number 4, as I told you. Now let us see this, that it does not make the task of its implementation any easier. So this will be the correct part, or this will be the correct answer. Okay. Now let us move again to the question number. This is on page. It is. So now let us get back to the question number. So this is actually the answer, that is D, that is enactment of socially progressive legislation. Now let us move to the next question. Which of the following is the most nearly the same in the meaning to callousness as used in the passage? So meaning, we have to tell the meaning of callousness. So it is actually B, that is insensitivity. After that, which of the following is nearly in the same meaning of delineates? As I told you, delineates means to make the boundary, or to make outline, or to describe something, to discuss, demarcate, suggest, or outlines. So it means D, that is outlines, or you can say to make boundary. At which stage were the grassroots level organizations involved for the policy? As I told you, grassroots level means from the very foundation, or from the very beginning. So let us see. After the interim report, from the start, at the final stage, this is the. So there is some printing error not mentioned in the passage. Yes, it is written from the grassroots level means from the start or from the beginning. So it is B. According to the passage, which of the following is basic block in the effective implementation of the policy? Prevalent power structure in society, inadequate legislation, insensitive administration, or lack of political will. That is A, that is prevalent power structure in society. So these were some 15 questions based on this passage. I hope you understood each and every question of the passage. And there are some words, as you can see, the vocabulary part. Okay, if we talk about the vocabulary part, you may find some words that are very difficult, and if we don't know the meaning of these words, we cannot make out the meaning, we cannot analyze the meaning, or we cannot figure out the meaning of the passage as well. So for that, we need to read the editorials. You can read the editorials of the Hindu, the Times of India, and many other English newspapers, which is very, very important for all of us to read. Just because if we want to attempt these types of questions, reading habit is must. If we read the questions carefully, we read the structures carefully, we read the editorials every day, it will help us out a lot. It will help us a lot in improving our skills of reading, as well as in analyzing the meanings or the questions of these passages. So this is very, very simple. Just if you have time, their time limit is also very important feature of attempting these types of questions. You can say it plays a vital role. If you have less time, just go through the questions first and after that go through the passage. But if you have time, just read the passage first and after that start solving the question and answers. This will definitely help you out in doing and attempting these types of questions, because these passages play a vital role in case of some exams. Okay, so I hope you understood this passage carefully, and now you know how to do these questions. And each and every word that we have discussed in this session, you got that each and every word in your mind as well. So for today, this is much. Thanks to you. Thank you very much.